Berrios confidence restored, kinda. The Blue Jays win 5-4, and they really needed that in the worst way possible.
All I'm saying is I'm really glad I took the over in our fictional bets yesterday on 14 and a half strikeouts from the starters. Not looking good from you, Schulman.
Not looking good. Ross is going in today's game, but we're going to talk about yesterday's 5-4 win over the Phillies, and we got a whole lot more coming up. It's Locked On Blue Jays, and guess when it starts?
You are Locked On Blue Jays, your daily Toronto Blue Jays podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Blue Jays. Thanks so much for making us your first listen every day. You can catch us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Odyssey, YouTube. That's Locked On Blue Jays on YouTube, Twitter at Locked On Jays, or our email, LockedOnBlueJaysReal@gmail.com. That's Locked On Blue Jays, REAL @gmail.com. We're going to read some of those emails. YouTube viewers, you can see down below that email. So yeah, send us an email with your questions. We'd love to answer them. We'd love to make you more and more a part of the episodes as we head into the second. I guess we're kind of already getting to the second half games-wise, but you know what I mean. Post All-Star break, we'd love to get you guys more and more involved. So yeah, Blue Jays win. Did I introduce us? You're Matt Bonaparte. I'm Ben Schulman. I might have already introduced us. Nice.
Do that fancy
for the YouTube viewers.
I'm Matt Bonaparte. He's Ben Schulman. Hey, yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right, let's keep going. The Blue Jays beat the Phillies. I said 5-4. 4-3. They win 4-3. Doubling up the Phils in hits 14-7. Jose Berrios was at least solid, if not very good. We're going to talk about that, but probably a little bit more coming up a little later in the show. So let's start elsewhere. What a game from Lourdes Gurriel Jr.
Yeah, the dude's just mashing. 4 for 4. Like, wow. I thought he hit a homer with 2 on there with Kirk and Teoscar on. It wasn't so, but we'll take a ground rule double. And then some really disappointing ABs right after him from Chapman and Jansen. But hey, Lourdes, keep doing what you're doing, man. He's keeping the team afloat, and that's all you can really ask for. If Vladdy's going to be going 1 for 4 and other guys aren't going to be contributing, at least you got Lourdes, man.
I will say, everyone in the lineup did get a hit today. And Chapman, while that wasn't a good at-bat from him, gets a double and a walk. 2 more hits from Teoscar, who's creeping toward an 800 OPS. 2 more hits from Kirk, because why not? They did, the Springer, Bichette, Guerrero didn't have their best game, but if their bad games are each getting a hit, I'm going to take it. So overall, I mean, you got the numbers on this more than I do. It wasn't a great game for the offense in terms of runs, but you do get 14 hits. You're going to take that most of the time. I do think this was somewhat of an offensive bounce back for them.
Yeah, totally. But, the runs really weren't there. I mean, 4 runs is not great. That's fine. If you're one of the best offenses in the league, you should be putting up a lot more than 4 runs in a win. But, it is what it is. You can't be doing that every night. But also, they haven't put up more than 5 runs in a game since July 1st in a 9-run win over the Rays. So all I'm saying is I'd like to see a game where they just put up 12 runs or something and just take the opponent out. It's never easy with this team. It's just never easy.
No, there was probably a month of easy baseball kind of in the May, June area. But yeah, I will say they got to take the win where they get the win. As we're speaking here on a Tuesday evening, the O's are up 4-2 on the Cubs in the top of the 9th inning. So O's are creeping. They're going to win 9 in a row, and I bet they'll get to 10 because they're playing the Cubs. So yeah, overall pretty happy. And, just a solid they came back, all of them somewhat recently from injury, but nice to see too, like a regular trio for them coming out of the pen and just locking it down. Mesa, Garcia, Romano. Obviously, Romano gives up that leadoff base hit, but was pretty much untouchable after that. So I do think it's encouraging. It's starting to feel even if the bullpen needs to add arms, which I definitely think they do, it is starting to feel a little bit like earlier in the year because with Mesa being hurt at one point and then Garcia being hurt at one point, and I don't love him, but Richards being hurt at one point, like they just didn't have everyone, and they're starting to get everyone back, and I like it.
Yeah, totally. Injuries are real, and every team has to go through them, and that does not exclude the Blue Jays. Not having Hyun-Jin Ryu also, like, I feel like we don't talk about that enough. I mean, the man was kind of a cornerstone of this rotation once upon a time, and they just don't have that resource this season. And Yusei Kikuchi, as we all know, is hurt, and he's just not been as advertised. So the ebbs and flows of a baseball season are definitely upon the Jays, but you got to survive in advance and adapt to adversity, and that's kind of what they are going through right now. They're going to figure a way out of this. They have to, or they're dead meat. But it's just about how they're going to do it, I suppose.
Was Lourdes your hype train? I have this feeling he was.
I can tell you that my hype train was Raimel Tapia.
Okay, well, he didn't play today, so that makes it a brutal day for us, by the way. It's only one of two, but in a 2-game set.
That's lethal.
Every single one's important. So Vladdy was my hype train. He went 1 for 4 with 3 Ks. Not exactly awesome. Your scary was Hall.
Yeah, he was not good.
With 3 Ks.
Sometimes you're great, sometimes you're not.
My scary was Schwarber, 0 for 4 with 1 K. So it was an overall loss for the boys. But one thing, I don't want to make too much of a deal about it because it's literally just one game. One thing that we can be happy about, and all Blue Jays fans can be happy about, Danny Jansen's back. And I haven't seen the numbers really about like ERA when pitching to who. So I don't know exactly how it lined up. I did see someone today they were like, here's the record with Kirk and Jansen starting at catcher, and here's the record with Moreno, Collins, and Heineman starting at catcher. And Moreno, Collins, and Heineman, it was 9-19. I don't really think it made sense to pair Moreno with Collins and Heineman. Like, I felt like I learned nothing from that stat.
We out here throwing Heineman, and he's not even a Blue Jay.
He's a Pittsburgh Pirate.
He maybe played like 3 games.
Yeah, he probably took like 2 losses, and they were like, well, this will make it look worse. So I don't know if I totally subscribe to like just because Jansen's back, all of a sudden the Blue Jays pitching is going to get way nastier, but it's not a terrible start in a small sample size. That the pitching was good when he was back, and he picked up a base hit along the way.
Taylor Heineman kind of looks like he works in a hardware store.
Does he?
Sorry.
I gotta say, like, no offense to maybe the athletes of my favorite sport, but there are a handful of Major League Baseball players that swing between like hardware store or Apple Genius.
Yeah, Apple Genius.
Almost everyone who wears goggles is Apple Genius.
I mean, Danny Jansen's pretty cool looking. I wouldn't say he's Apple Genius.
Danny Jansen, no, because he's goggles, but also like, what is he, 6'5"?
6'2".
Wow, he looks way taller, I swear. But he's kind of a big guy. I'm looking at like they're like the like more frail type, probably like a reliever. Not gonna say who's coming to my mind, but very specific person is coming to my mind. But
now I really want to know.
All right, it was Brett Cecil.
Why couldn't you say Brett Cecil?
Because I like Brett Cecil. I don't want to do him like that.
He does kind of look a little bit. The thing about Brett Cecil is he looks so scary in his Baseball Reference photo from the Cardinals. He looks like a freak. Like he looks so spooky.
You're being way more mean than I am now. Hover
over. Look at him. He looks scared. I think he'd take that as a compliment. It's probably what he's going for.
Hover over his picture. I'm not honest.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah. Well, the other one makes him look like he's in high school.
Apple Genius. Oh, whoa. Yeah, that's way old. Way old. Yeah, his St. Louis picture kind of looks like a mugshot, but in baseball.
Who's being mean now?
You know what we're not going to be
podcast become, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I love you, Brett Cecil. You're a great pitcher and probably a good guy. You know we're not going to be mean to? Jose Berrios coming up. We're going to talk about our confidence level in him and how we feel after what's now been kind of a third good start in a row for Berrios. But before we're nice to him, you should be nice to your special someone. And one way that you can do that is by going to the homies at Blue Nile. Blue Nile is your one-stop shop for wedding jewelry and fine jewelry. Whether you're ready to pop the question or you're celebrating a milestone moment, find jewelry as unique as him or her with modern convenience of online shopping at BlueNile.com. Blue Nile has simple online tools that let you choose the diamond shape, the diamond size, the diamond clarity, as well as the setting style. Blue Nile's bench jewelers will then handcraft his or her perfect engagement ring. And trust me, each ring is one of a kind. Make your moment sparkle with jewelry from BlueNile.com. And look, Locked On Sports listeners, we got you. You're getting $50 off purchases of $500 or more. This podcast exclusive includes engagement. Use code Locked On. That's code Locked On. Plus, every order is insured, ships free, and arrives in discreet packaging that won't give away what's inside. Shop stress-free and find your forever piece. Go to BlueNile.com today. Our YouTube listeners are seeing Brett Cecil's headshot. I mean, am I wrong? Am I wrong?
I threw it up right before you read the ad, but you didn't see it. So we got a little taste of it
I had
before
switched
that.
windows, but like
audio listeners, you're missing out.
you're
Watch the
missing out.
YouTube video.
Go to our
It's so
YouTube.
good.
Brett Cecil's headshot is still huge in the middle of our screen. He just looks like he's angry to be a Cardinal. He like wishes he was a Jay still or something.
Yeah. All right, here we go. It's time to talk about Jose Berrios. Berrios in this game was pretty much as dominant as he's been all season long. He had like 9 strikeouts through 4 innings. And that's just kind of like the epitome of Berrios coming into this game. He had a 5.44 ERA, and then he just came in and was absolutely elite. He gives up 3 runs, sure, but a quality start, even though I don't like that stat. A quality start, 6 innings, 3 runs, 6 hits, 13 Ks. I'll take that. If he was going to give me that every single game, I would take it in a heartbeat. The man has struggled heavily this season, especially in those back-to-back terrible games in Chicago and then Milwaukee, where he had 6 runs, or 6 earned and 8 earned, respectively. He bounces back in his 3 most recent starts with only 6 runs over the last 3 starts. That's pretty darn good. I'll take that from Berrios. So, am I growing confident in him? Yes. But he's got to show me that he can not necessarily strike out 13 guys again, but he has to show me that he can continuously, over like another 5 starts or something, keep it to like a 4-run maximum, and he can only have like 4 runs one time.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to be more consistent. He's done this a little bit before. First start of the year, he was bad. Then he had an okay start against the Yankees, good start against the Red Sox, good start against the Red Sox, good start against Houston. Those were all 3 earned runs or fewer. But then he gives up 6 to Cleveland and 5 to the Yankees. Then he puts together back-to-back solid starts against Seattle and St. Louis. Then he gives up 6 to the Angels. Then he puts another run of 3 good starts together against Minnesota, Detroit, and Baltimore's powerhouse apparently. Then he gives up those 6 and 8 runs in Chicago and Milwaukee. So the confidence is growing, I think. His June, July has been better than his April, May, I believe. I'm eyeballing that, but I believe.
I'll fact check you on that.
Now I'm combining June, July, and I'm
aware.
combining it.
I've got that.
But again, it's only 3 starts. He hasn't put together more than 3 solid starts in a year without blowing up for at least
Barely correct.
Barely correct?
You're correct by 0.4.
I'll take it. 0.4 ERA.
Yeah, he had a 5.62 in April, May, and a 5.22 before this game in June, July. So probably like a 5.2 or 5.18. So you're right by a decent amount, but he stinks in both. This is a guy who hasn't had an ERA above 4 in his entire career, and he hasn't had an ERA below 4.13 all of this season. Started with 108, brought that down to a 4.13 against Houston, and then has not been anywhere close to that since. He leaves today's game with a 5.38 ERA. And the strikeout numbers have been fine and really good here and there. But strikeout per 9, 7.5, like that's not great. And he leads the majors in earned runs, or leads the AL in earned runs, leads the AL in home runs allowed. Like that's bad, Jose. That's not good.
I do this. I'm not as much like the analytics darlings are obsessed with him because of the strikeouts. I'm not as much of like a measure a pitcher by his strikeouts guy. I'm really more into run prevention, and that might make me a dinosaur. But the point of the game is to not allow runs. But he wasn't getting the strikeouts and the swing and miss stuff that early in the season. It still ebbed and flowed a little bit, but his strikeout numbers. I mean, do you still have the April, May, June, July stuff up? I can do it myself.
I got it. What do you need, Benjamin?
What's his strikeouts comparison over that time? Like
in April, May. Oh, my internet is slow, so you're gonna have to hear me filibuster. Did you know that he went to Papa Juan High School?
I didn't. My best friend went to Papa Juan.
No shot. Your best friend went to Papa Juan.
I don't even know anyone who's ever been to Puerto Rico.
You know who else went to Papa Juan? Rene Rivera went to Papa Juan.
So your internet can load that, but not.
That was from before. I just have that information. Strikeouts in April, May, 36 strikeouts. And thus far in June, July, he's got 50.
That's better.
That is better.
That's better because he's also what he made 9 starts.
Less starts. He made 10 starts in April, May, and then June, July he's made 8 starts.
Okay, so that's a somewhat noticeable uptick.
It's better,
and he's got to be a high strikeout guy to be good. So I like that. I got a little trivia for you if you want it.
Woohoo! I love trivia. You know I do.
Blue Jays tweeted that Jose Berrios is the 3rd pitcher in franchise history to have 2 13 strikeout games in one season. Now, I looked at it before we started recording. It's been like 20 minutes since. But I thought, like, I couldn't figure it out at first. So I was like, let me go to the replies. The replies were having trouble. They were.
What was the question? I'm sorry.
So Jose Berrios now has 2 13 strikeout games this season.
Okay.
2 other pitchers have done that in Blue Jays history.
Halliday and Burnett.
Both incorrect.
Wow.
Thought Doc might be a shoo-in, but it's just not a sign of the times for him.
Is it Steve?
I checked him too, not Steve.
Ricky Romero.
No.
Sean Markham.
Incorrect.
Hold on. You got to let me try here. This is what I'm all
They're
about.
Kind of both obvious, but kind of not obvious.
Huh.
Like when you hear them,
Stroman.
Not Stroman. When you hear them, you're going to be like, duh.
Sanchez.
Not Sanchez.
Estrada.
Not Estrada. You haven't gotten one of the 2 yet.
I'm aware of that. That's actually something I'm aware of. This is tough. Oh, Jack Morris.
Not Jack Morris.
Let's think. Can I get like an era here?
One of them played in the 90s. One of them is more contemporary.
Did I watch the other guy pitch?
The second guy?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'll tell you, it's like more recent than 2007. So you were like definitely with it.
Okay. I'm going to be really upset if I don't get this, but I'm not gonna. Gosh, who else was in that rotation, dude? With Ricky Romero. Like, who was the other guy?
I'll tell you, this guy was not a teammate of Ricky Romero.
So it's like 2016 or something? Yeah, it is. The Ben Shrug gives it all away, you know. I could read this guy like a book. Okay, so like who was on that team? Sanchez, Stroman, Estrada.
I'll cross off Mark Burley. It wasn't him.
No Burley. R.A. Dickey.
Nope.
Thought I had you there. I won't lie. I thought I had you. Can I get a hint?
Which guy do you want a hint on?
I don't know, both. Can you give me a he was a Blue Jay style hint?
Okay.
Okay, here's my other question. Do either of these guys qualify for he was a Blue Jay?
One would, but he's such a good player that I wouldn't do it.
Wow.
He's such a good player.
Clemens, duh.
Yeah. Clemens is the 90s one. See, it's like obvious, but not obvious. Because for a sec, I knew you would forget he was like about Clemens because he was only a 2-year Blue Jay. I think I found these myself. I think I counted 5 times in 97. He had at least 13 strikeouts.
Oh, that is insane.
Yeah. I didn't even look at it, but I don't want
Is the other guy still playing?
Yep.
Is he on the team right now? No, he couldn't be. Other guy's still playing. That's why I thought it was Stroman. Was he like? Is he fantastic or no?
At times.
At least 2 times.
Like he's had good years, but he's had not good years.
Okay. Can I get another hint on him that gives away?
Within the last month, the Blue Jays have faced him.
Robbie Ray.
Correct. That was the sneaky one. So people had Clemens in the replies. No one had Robbie Ray, who did it 3 times last year, including twice in like a 5-start stretch.
Interesting. Robbie Ray gets it.
That's why when you asked if he was good, I was like, I kind of don't know.
Well, he's won a Cy Young. You should have said that.
That's true. You know what else I should have said quickly, but didn't at the beginning of the episode? That this entire episode is brought to you by Blue Nile. Make your moment sparkle with jewelry from BlueNile.com. Locked On Sports listeners get $50 off purchases of $500 or more. This podcast exclusive includes engagement. Use code Locked On at checkout.
Well, if you guys want to bet on he was a Blue Jay next time around, go to BetOnline. They don't have it, but they have other stuff. BetOnline.net is your #1 source for all your betting needs and sports info. Find all the latest sports developments, league reviews, and news, including Major League Baseball, of course. BetOnline is your continued source for all your sporting wagering information, including live betting, esports, and more. And BetOnline.net remains the best spot for all your sports scores, podcasts, and news this season. BetOnline.net is the fastest and easiest way to check in on all your favorite sports and events, including MMA, boxing, and golf. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends in action. BetOnline, where the game starts. Here's what I have to say. There's only 2 left, right, Ben? 2 he was a Blue Jays left?
Yeah, we're doing season 4 as Bones' season.
So I was going to say, so there's 2 left in season 3, which is the last season so far of Ben doling out the answers. We'll see how the season of me doing it goes. Maybe Ben stinks at this, and we got to revert back to the OG. Maybe I stink at being the czar, and we have to revert back to the OG. But I was going to say, in a little bit of a plug for our email me at lockedonbluejaysreal@gmail.com. Ben, just don't check the email. I know you don't already. Email me some potential he was a Blue Jays fans to help me out, because obviously you're more well-versed in this than I am, and we can try and stump Ben together. So email us right now, YouTube viewers. You see this on the screen, lockedonbluejaysreal@gmail.com. Help me out. What is it, Ben?
I do check the emails sometimes, so please make your subject line like he was a Blue Jay suggestion or stuff, so I don't click into your email.
Yeah, don't click that. Okay. That being said, let's go to the email. Let's see what we've got from our loyal viewers. We have a couple of new ones. I also just want to say thank you for the lovely messages you guys send. There's a lot of good jobs and great podcasts going around, and we really, really appreciate that. So thank you so much for your loyal listenership. Let's go to the only question that we have in the email box right now from Ian. Ian says, and this is also a normal guy on YouTube, so shout out normal guy. He says, my question for you, you have to choose between the Jays getting either a quality starter, Perez, Montas, Castillo, etc., or a quality bullpen arm, Bednar, Robertson, etc. You can only pick one. Which do you choose? All right, Ben, which do you choose?
First of all, snaps to Ian, because I think he's listening to who we're suggesting, because those were all people we've suggested, really. I mean, Montas Castillo's out there, but we've been on the Perez train. We've been on the Robertson train. We've been on the
Bednar
train. So we did kind of debate this a couple weeks ago, but the landscape has changed, especially with both of us starting to feel a bit better about Berrios. I think I already was on the camp of feeling better about trading for relievers, like maybe plural. than going in the starter pool. I'm really on the reliever train. I think both of them have problems. I think one is easier to solve. I think reliever is an easier thing to solve given the market this year and the cost that relievers usually bring with them for trades. And I think in the playoffs, you can hide one a little bit more than the other, which I explained on our last one. Like you look at the Royals in 2015, you look at the Braves last year, countless other teams. Obviously, there have been teams who are propelled by great starters. The San Francisco Giants did that, but they also had Brian Wilson and Sergio Romo once upon a time locking it down on the back end. So fear the beard, by the way. But I think I miss Brian Wilson. I think I lean more in the camp of reliever, and a lot of that has to do with not loving the starters available.
So I only think it works with. I think the reliever only works if you can get Berrios to be strong going into the playoffs, and you can run a 3-man rotation with Strip if you need him to start games. That's the only way it works.
Be like your game 4 starter.
He can be your Joe Blanton to your Royals staff, pretty much, or Jeremy Guthrie. So that's the only way I think the reliever works. That being said, I probably would take the reliever. The starter would be nice, but in a realistic sense, you would have to give up more for a starter. I mean, guys want a lot. For Montas, you're going to have to give up prospects, and same thing goes for Castillo. Yeah, it'll be harder to get him. So, I don't know necessarily who you're looking at other than Bednar or Robertson that are affordable in the reliever market. I mean, you're not going to go out there and trade for Josh Hader or something. It's just not going to happen.
Like Scott Barlow.
Yeah, potentially. That guy throws 100 million miles an hour, so that'd be cool. But I think I'd probably go reliever here. But the other thing is like I think you want a guy who is elite. You want a guy who is just going to go out there and be as good, if not better, than Jordan Romano is right now. So, because I mean, other than Simber, there's nobody in that pen that's all that reliable. I mean, who are you looking at there that is really, really reliable? Mays has been fine, but you want at least like 3 or 4 guys who can be locked down.
You want to trade for an 8th inning guy.
When Mesa comes in, you're not like, oh, he's got this. That's not what it's like. It's like, oh God, I hope he's got this. So I'd probably go reliever as well, but that is the caveat that Berrios shows up in the playoffs and can kind of make things happen. Because if you can't, then you can't really run that 3-man rotation, in which you'll really need the starter. But that's a decision the Jays have to make pretty soon. And as it keeps getting closer, Ben and I will continue to give you more content. But that is all the time we have today. Thanks for making Locked On Blue Jays your first listen every day. Ben and I are back tomorrow to recap the series and preview the next one and probably play some He Was a Blue Jay. Go make your second listen. Locked On MLB Prospects. Host Lindsey Crosby is a prospect encyclopedia, and he's going deep on the MLB stars of tomorrow. It's free and available wherever you get your podcast. If you made it this far in the video, comment your favorite band of all time, and we will see you tomorrow.